Let's cook some easy baby back ribs on the Traeger, made with my new cherry apple habanero glaze. Now that we've got our ribs out of the pack, got them dried off semi, these are some big, thick, meaty racks of baby back ribs. Now these are Prairie Fresh Primes, but I can tell you that rack right there probably weighs every bit of 4.5 or 5 pounds. I mean, both of them are huge racks. Now I'm gonna take the membrane off the back of mine. It's completely up to you of how you do it. A lot of people use a paper towel, a butter knife, whatsoever. I've got on some rubber gloves, and I'm gonna kind of go on the curved end of the bone here. I'm kind of follow my finger here and just kind of go under that skin. And when you get all the way to the other side like that, you can start ripping it off. And that comes off just as easy and clean as you please. But there's a lot of people out here that teach a lot of different ways. Do whatever works best for you. I just done skinned a lot of ribs in my lifetime, so this is one of the easier methods to me. Now, as far as trimming goes on these ribs, I'm not gonna knock anything off of them. You can see just how meaty they are. You got a little bit of fat up here on top. Now, I am noticing this is pushing out a little bit of blood here. So just in that fat vein there, nothing to it. Just kind of be real easy, follow your knife down that. Knock a little bit of that off. Yep, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave these ribs big, thick, and meaty like this. I'm gonna get them turned over, and the first thing I'm gonna do is get down a layer of what I call the best all-purpose rub ever made, and that's that garlic jalapeno. Now, if you've got a favorite rub that you like using, use it. This is just the one that's won me a lot of money. I like the flavor of it. Do whatever makes you happy. I'm not using a binder today or anything. Just coming back and laying that good old garlic jalapeno down. You can see I laid a good medium coat down on the back of these ribs. Now I'm gonna come back with some of our competition rub. Now this is a blend right here that I developed specifically for Memphis in May. And so if you have a favorite barbecue rub you like, use it as well. Now, I'm gonna let the back of these ribs set here and sweat in about 5 minutes before I turn them over and repeat the process. Now, once I do that, I'm gonna let these ribs set here about 15 minutes to sweat in before I put them on my Traeger pellet grill. Now, I've got it fired up running at 300 degrees with some roll oak charcoal pellets. Now that the back's sweated in, let's get a good layer on the front and let it sweat in. All right, once we get them rubbed down how you like them, you can see I like a good medium to thick heavy coat of rub on mine. That's just me. If you like a lighter coat, please do it your way. A lot of times, a lot of people jump in the comments and complain about how much rub I put on or what all I do. Well, guess what? That bottle says Heath Riles for a reason. I can do it how I want. You can do it how you want. It doesn't matter. That's the joy of it. And so let's let these sweat in about 15, 20 minutes. We're gonna get them on that Traeger. Now that our ribs have sweated in really well, you can see that they're all good and wet. We're gonna get them over here our Traeger and get them on. Now the key to these ribs, let's put them on, give them 1 hour, and don't even peek at them. They're probably going to go somewhere between 2.5, 3 hours, as big as these ribs are, before I even wrap them. Before they get to a solid 160 is where we're gonna go. So let's get them on the grill over here. You can literally see how meaty that rib is. That is a big rib, so it's gonna take a lot longer than a normal 3-pound rib. Now normally I bunch these ribs up, but as thick as they are, I'm gonna ensure that they're kind of stretched out because they're already meaty enough. When you have a thinner rib, bunching them up is always gonna ensure getting a little more meat in between the bones. But like I said, as meaty as these are, I'm gonna stretch them out. So now that they're on our Traeger Ironwood 885, let's get the lid shut, set the alarm for 1 hour, and then give them a peek. All right, our ribs have been on a little over an hour. Actually, 1 hour and 10 minutes. I got busy. And you can see that some of that blood's starting to push out here. I'm gonna take my napkin here and kind of wipe some of that away. See how it just comes right off there? And it's just for visual presentation. You don't have to do this. I'm gonna take and wet these ribs with a little bit of water. This is just pure water. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of that competition rub because of all the fat on top of this. I can see some light spots right here where this fat's at. I'm just gonna kind of touch that up. Now, we'll get this grill lid shut, let it go another hour. All right, we need some pellets in our grill. Let's get some poured in. All right, we're at the 2-hour mark here. Let's check our ribs. Now, as you can see, our ribs looking really good. They got a lot of moisture still, but you see how I was talking about they're really big and meaty, got a fat vein on them. You see how they're separating out here? I'm gonna take, I don't wanna lose that color. Go down that. Now I'm gonna let that keep setting up, let it go about another 30 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap them. But while I'm over here, all right, we're hitting about 165 degrees, you can see here in this rib. But I'm gonna tell you, as big as they are, meaty, looking at the rub, I'm gonna let them go a little while longer, like I said, another 20 to 30 minutes, and then we're gonna get them wrapped up. All right, it's time to wrap our ribs. So I've got 2 cups of water here, 16 ounces is just regular water. I didn't have any apple juice here at home today. Opening this butter bath up. Now, everybody don't know about butter bath. This is kind of everything you need all in one bag to wrap some ribs. It's got butter, brown sugar, honey, and some spices in it. I'm gonna take 1 scoop, which is a 1/4 cup, put it in here, but we've got 2 in here, so we wanna go 2. All right, 2 wraps of ribs. 2 racks of ribs, should I say. Now we wanna get our butter bath mixed up, and this is what we're gonna wrap them with. We're gonna be ready to get it off the grill. So we just want to get this shaked up, and we're going to grab our ribs and get them wrapped. All right, our ribs have been on about 2.5 hours. They are looking mighty fine. Look at that. A lot of moisture from as thick as these ribs are. Oh yeah. Let's get these wrapped up. Now, one thing's for sure, I've got some foil pulled. I've got it doubled up, and you see I've got a large sheet pan. I'm laying this sheet pan down with the foil on top where it almost creates a little bit of a pocket. And the reason I'm doing that, so when we're pouring the butter bath, it's not gonna spill out or anything like that to get the rib wrapped. So, without further ado, look at that big meaty rib. Oh man. So I'm gonna pull a little bit of this off. And this is just blood that pushes out of the bones. Nothing wrong with it. You can keep it on there if you want. Completely up to you. Now I'm gonna take about half of my butter bath, 8 ounces of it, and pour over this rib. Oh yeah. Now once you get it all poured over just like that, I'm gonna take these ends and wrap it up tight. Now, double foiling this is the way to go in my opinion, because you always seems like you have some sharp bones on the end or something like that, and you don't want that poking through. Now that that rib is sealed off really good, let's get the next one wrapped. And you know, one good thing about butter bath, it's a quick, easy, convenient way to wrap ribs and impart all those flavors that we like in competition barbecue. Some people wrap in just straight apple juice. If that's what you want to do, do it. This is just a little bit different of a product that gets a better end result in my opinion. Like I say, it's just my opinion. You use whatever you like to wrap your ribs up. So I'm gonna get these back on the cooker, let them go till they hit about 205 degrees, and then we're gonna be ready to glaze them. Now, I'm gonna give these exactly 1 hour and get back over here. All right, we are right at the 3-hour mark on our ribs. Let's get in here. Remember, we've been cooking 300 degrees, roll up charcoal pellets. I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna wrap this thing right on the grill right here. I wanna peek at these bones, look at the pullback, look at the draw. I wanna look at all that. So when we get in here and we peel that back, you can honestly see some of the bones is wanting to pop through. These big bones down here, that's kind of a telltale sign. When these bones pop out all the way, you know that rib is all the way tender. Now, with as thick as this rib is, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. I said 205 was gonna be my temp I pulled them at. But I'm hitting 207, 208 in that rib. Well, let me back up a little bit. Let me go all the way. Yeah. There you go. I was poking a little too far in that rib. So that rib's somewhere around 188, 89, 90, somewhere like that. That's the dead center of that rib. We're looking for 205. We know that that's not popped all the way through. I do a little push-pull test, right? If I can take them bones and them bones are still hard, they won't come out of there. If that bone wants to pop out, I know it's the tenderness I'm looking for. I'm gonna get this grill lid shut back, get this rib wrapped up, and I'm gonna let it go another 20 to 30 minutes and then check them again. All right, we've let these ribs go about another 20 minutes. So they have been cooking 3.5 hours total. And I can tell you, I'm bending that rack right there. You got these bones wanting to poke out down here on the end now, others shine through. Those ribs are perfect. We gotta take our pan and let these things rest a few minutes before we glaze them up. So let's get these over here and let them rest, and let's mix some sauce up. All right, this is gonna be a really simple, easy sauce. I'm gonna take some of my sweet sauce here. Look at how thick that is. And I'm gonna pour out maybe 3/4 of a cup. Now, my brand new cherry apple habanero glaze. And I can tell you, this right here is a flavor like nobody else has got. I'm gonna use about 3/4 of a cup in that too. Maybe just like that. Now, I'm gonna get this over on my grill, let it warm up in my cast iron pot while my ribs are sitting out here resting. This will probably take 15, 20 minutes to get this sauce hot. That's a perfect time to let those ribs rest. Once it's hot, we're gonna glaze them up, return them to the pit, tack them up, and we're gonna be ready to eat. All right, our ribs have been resting about 20 minutes. Our sauce is good and warm. We just took it off the grill. So, without further ado, I'm gonna lay that one rack in there. Oh yeah. Them ribs are hot. See, the steam is still coming off of them good. And so the first thing I'm gonna do, and this pot is hot too. I just took it off the grill. So remember, don't grab it with your hand. I almost did that. I'm gonna take and go in my cherry flavored barbecue sauce here, start mopping it on. Now, once you got the backs all coated up, let's flip them over. Woo! And they are warm, like I said. I wish y'all could smell this. Just the smell alone makes me want to take a bite. Now, once we get it all shined up, let's get it back over here to the grill and let this rub tack up. Look at that beautiful color those ribs have right there. Let's get it back on here and see if we can't help it a little bit more. All right, our ribs have been on tacking up for about 10 minutes. Let's get in here and get them off. Yeah, look at the color. Oh, that rib's wanting to tear. Look at the color on that. Oh, man. Whoa. Those ribs are absolutely gorgeous. Nothing like a good baby back rib. You'll never make me change my mind about that. All right, just to recap, these ribs, we took them out of the pack, skint the membrane off the back, rub them down with a good coat of garlic jalapeno rub and then comp rub. We let them go for a tad over 2 hours till they was tacked up all the way. We had to re-season with a little rub where the fat was really pushing that excess moisture to the top of the skin. We then took them off, got them wrapped up in our butter bath, and this cook was so simple, so easy. We took, honestly, about 3/4 of a cup of our sweet barbecue sauce and 3/4 of a cup of our cherry apple habanero rib glaze, mixed them up 50-50 and just coated them on top. The smell is incredible. I know the taste is gonna be even better. So let's get in here, cut a rib, see how we done. You know, these ribs are tender, but I don't think they're too tender for me to pick up. And look, hit that wave right there, and you see that's wanting to break already. But you can do that little bit of wave right there, that wiggle, that's what we're looking for. But this rib right here, I'm gonna go ahead. Guys, look at this. That is a perfectly cooked rib. Just tear it right apart, no knife whatsoever. Let's go right down. Now I can tell y'all seen how easy that rib held up, but it broke off. Oh, I know it's gonna be good. Shut the front door. The uniqueness from this cherry apple habanero rib glaze, it's not like anything else on the market. We use a premium cherry juice in it, and the flavor really shines through. I cannot wait to get this combination on some chicken wings. If you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along. Also, share it with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course, YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video. Those are so good.